Okay, thanks for coming over. So I'm gonna play the video for those that didn't see it, and then we're gonna watch the press conference. I have another story after this, and I have another interesting story for later this afternoon, a crazy one. The last one that I have for later is open for interpretation. Let's see, we're live. Okay, audio's good. Thank you for the follow, tag, and Bama on Twitch. This is okay, good. We're working today. Twitch, we're running. Okay, let's just start this. Ready? So this is the meth incident that went viral. I don't know if you guys have heard of this. 5525.
I'm Springfield Township Police Department.
Okay, stop it, Josh. How are you?
So the reason I stopped you is you are suspended with a warrant for your arrest.
I am?
So do me a favor, turn off the car, put the keys up on the dash, detain you for that warrant, and because you are suspended actively. Oh. Hey.
What?
Come here.
Hello?
The Raccoon has her meth pipe.
As what?
Oh my god.
Her meth pipe. He's playing with the meth pipe right
And why is that funny? Maybe he's been smoking meth. Maybe this is animal
now.
juice.
No, don't reach for it. That's evidence now.
Oh, I don't want him to have that.
That's why I'm gonna do it. Hey, buddy.
Huh?
It's okay.
Okay, you're on two beers.
I don't think he's on meth. He would have been cracked
2
out.
minutes right across from my house.
Is that what that
A few
is?
minutes?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is what she's smoking meth in.
Okay.
It's not mine. It's the raccoon.
The raccoon's playing with her meth pipe.
All right.
Oh, there's no way. He's trying to smoke it.
All right.
Damn.
Thanks.
There's no way. All right. Enough fun
Sure, the cop been smoking meth?
in games.
Here.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, he's on his way here.
Keep an eye. She was trying to take the meth pipe out of the car. Just keep an eye on her real quick.
So they actually, I talked about this on Twitch earlier, and I thought that was it. Okay, cool, viral moment, whatever. Little did I expect to see this. I was shocked to see this. They had a press conference about this shit. I was like, bro, it literally just happened now, like 10, 15 minutes ago.
Go ahead. Austin Branham. Austin Branham. Branham.
And then Officer Ty Clapp, KLAPP.
And both officers, is that right?
Correct.
Sir.
Patrol officers. So this, I'm refreshing my memory. This happened when?
Yes, sir. Or Monday.
Monday. And let's just walk me through. I know we have some body camera footage from one of the two of you. Which?
That would be my body camera.
So walk me through the
Why is this a press conference? Can I be real, or I don't know? Should this need a press conference? I mean, I get it, I guess.
So him and I was at Walmart up on 2887 South Arlington Road. I was parked up front on the apron, and he was standing at my door talking to me, and a red SUV occupied by the people inside of it pulled into the parking lot, and he was adjusting his vest, and I just happened to be looking that direction at the time.
This is a press conference about the raccoon. I could not believe this shit.
And the two female passengers up front, I think, thought he was turning around to look at them, and so they both looked the opposite direction. And I said, hey, that was kind of weird. And they didn't have windows. They had a picket fence on their passenger side windows, the front and back. So he gave me the plate, and I ran it. And I was able to confirm that the female driver was suspended and had a warrant for arrest as well. So.
That's when I posted up across the street, waited for the vehicle to come out onto Arlington. Initiated a traffic stop on the vehicle, made contact with the driver who had the suspended license and the warrant for arrest, placed her under arrest, detained her for the warrant, walked her back to my car, and then when I went up to the vehicle, we found the Raccoon in the driver's seat with the paraphernalia. The Raccoon had dug a hole into a sheets bag that was on the driver's seat as well. Inside of it were the meth pipes and the 7 bags of crystal methamphetamine.
Damn, 7 bags.
The original one.
It was driving under suspension.
Driving under suspension.
Yep.
And so that's not a felony.
It is not. It's a misdemeanor. It is a jailable misdemeanor, though.
And there was no suspicion when you took her out of the vehicle and got her out. There were 2 people in that vehicle, is that right?
Yes. The male in the vehicle was in the vehicle at one point, but he walked up after I initiated the traffic stop.
Okay. And there was no reason to suspect anything other than the outstanding warrant at the moment, is that right?
I did not know.
Yeah. But then Chewy enters the scene, and describe to me that moment. We see it on your body camera, but describe to me that moment.
I was talking to the male and female. The male had contacted his father to come up to arrange transportation for the other female and the 2 dogs that were in the vehicle as well. And while I was doing that, I noticed the Raccoon Chewy pop his head up. And when I turned to look inside the vehicle to make sure he didn't hop out, that's when I noticed he was holding a glass methamphetamine pipe.
Damn.
So I kind of talked to him about it and reached in, grabbed it, and then when I turned back, he had a second one in his hands.
Damn.
Reached in and grabbed that one and the sheets bag that I could tell that they were sticking out of, and that's when we located the other narcotics.
What do you think when you see a raccoon with a meth?
Not an everyday thing. Definitely not an everyday thing, but you know, especially in Arlington, we do see some interesting things, but seeing a raccoon holding some drug paraphernalia was a very interesting part of my day.
How long have the 2 of you been officers?
4.5 years.
I was 3.5, 4.
Have you ever experienced anything even remotely close to this?
No. I cannot say so.
So this whole thing changes in an instant because of this raccoon. So what next? What happens next?
So once we secured the paraphernalia and the narcotics, we secured transportation for Chewy. The father was able to get a carrier for it. And then we contacted ODNR, and we've been in follow-up with the investigation into making sure that Chewy's safe and secure with the family that took him in.
With respect to the drugs and what else, the paraphernalia that was found in the vehicle, this now accelerated to a felony arrest, is that right?
Yes.
And let's tell me about that.
So with the weight of the narcotics, it was approximately 7.15 grams of crystal methamphetamine and 0.10 grams of crack cocaine. All of it was field tested positive. So it means it's going to be upgraded to a felony of the 3rd degree because it was twice the bulk amount in the state of Ohio.
Do either of you know what the laws are for keeping a raccoon?
We just know, as far as we know, you just have to have a special permit. It's got to be vetted, like a license, stuff like that. And at the time, they didn't have any documentation stating that, so we were just going to do a follow-up. And then, like Officer Branham said, the male's father that showed up at the door, we used the dog pole to get it because we couldn't get it inside the crate. And then him and her mother left with the raccoon that day.
Which was described as a pet?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah, the guy said he had it 3 to 4 years, and it didn't look very old, so I would assume they had it since probably right around birth.
I'm not a chemist, but I know that fentanyl or methamphetamine, not fentanyl, but methamphetamine sounds like something you don't even want to touch. Is that right? I mean, in your training, what do you talk about the risks of exposure to methamphetamine?
Go ahead.
It can lead to any dosage amount of fentanyl. Obviously, is what we've seen.
It's just an SNL skit,
recently.
right?
Is any dosage amount can be lethal. It can lead to an overdose in anyone that comes in contact with it, whether it be airborne or through contact with the skin, injection or inhalation. Methamphetamine, obviously the same thing. So we caution people when opening themselves up to that. You know, we obviously do not want anyone using narcotics. That's why it is illegal. But when anyone comes into contact with it, it can be extremely fatal.
Right, and that's even contact with the skin, is that right? Yeah. And so, I suppose I am aware that, especially for human beings, the smaller you are, the dosages become more significant in larger quantities. Chewy's kind of small. Was Chewy actually ingesting or exposed to any of the meth in the vehicle?
We don't have reason to believe that he got inside of
Was Chewy getting high?
the container that the methamphetamine was contained in. It was contained inside a cell phone or a sunglasses hard case. There was no indication that he made it inside of that case, and the pipes themselves did not have any residue inside of them. Just the burned amount that was on the outside of it. So there was no inherent risk for Chewy to have exposure.
Right.
Was the driver under the influence, do you know?
We do. There was no reason to believe that she was.
And she was by herself?
There were 2 occupants inside the vehicle. It was her and her mother.
Breaking news! Breaking news! Major press conference.
We did, because we could hear them barking, and then once I made contact with the driver, the 2 dogs poked their heads out from the back seat.
When you first looked in the front seat, did you think maybe it was another dog at first? How long did it take before you realized that's not a dog in the front seat?
She told me she did not want to open the door because of the raccoon between her feet. At first, obviously, I thought maybe that was some kind of joke, and then I looked down, and sure enough, there was Chewy sitting at her feet, looking up at me.
On the driver's side floor?
Yep.
Were you nervous? You said you kind of reached in first? I mean, were you
So-
nervous, like a bit or anything?
Yes and no. Obviously, no one wants to be bit by any animal on the job. But Chewy seemed extremely playful. He was kind of just sitting there looking up at us. He was playing around with a plastic bag on the floor. He was going between the driver's seat and the passenger's seat, playing around. So the risk of being bit, I figured at the time, may have been a little lower than a normal raccoon that one would encounter.
She seemed kind of shocked. What's going on here?
It was a little jarring, but at the same time, we wanted to make sure that she was taken care of, especially when the family that was holding him said that he was like a member of the family, that he was a pet, and how he was. I'm a big animal lover, so seeing any type of animal playing around always puts me in a better mood.
Why were you laughing? Why were you smiling?
You're taking care of business, and he just happens to have a meth pipe in his mouth. And you take that away, and then what happens?
So once I noticed the first meth pipe, I brought it out, and I turned to talk to Officer Clapp here and to the female's family members, or mother and friend that were there. And then when I looked back into the car, I noticed Chewy had another one that was newer. I would say there was no burn residue, there was no signs of usage on it, and that's the one that he was putting up to his mouth. So there was, it was, a very humorous moment, but when I reached back in, I wanted to make sure that there was no open residue, open signs of narcotics, to make sure that Chewy didn't inadvertently get contaminated with them.
From each of you, this apparently is getting nationwide attention. What do you make of that?
I guess as humorous as it is, having an animal, more of a rabid animal with drug paraphernalia, you got to more so think about the driver of the vehicle and, her needing the help that she's going to get, hopefully that she gets for her drug issue. Because it could have been a kid rather than a raccoon. So, you got to look at it that way. I'm sure, I don't want to speak for him, but we've never came across any animals that have ingested any narcotics or anything. So it's hard to say that he did or didn't. We would assume he did not, by his reaction when we were there the whole time. But it's just one thing I guess we never expected to encounter. So.
Any future for Chewy on the force?
Right, it'd be our new
Chewy!
mascot.
Do you know what's happens to them now, especially if they cannot produce any documents?
So we've been in contact with ODNR. We will be helping them to either rehome the raccoon to a safer location or to help them obtain the proper certification to properly own Chewy. So that way we can cover the base of...
I guess it's a feel-good story, no pun intended, with the meth. Feel-good
sure
story.
that Chewy's taken care of.
And once again, Chewy was released to whom?
The mother of the owner.
And when I hear the description of the vehicle, do they have a permanent residence?
She did give me an address in Akron. She said that she was kind of down on her luck and in between living in the vehicle and at the home. So that's why, as fun as it is to, see a raccoon holding a meth pipe, it is very sad to see someone in that condition with that addiction that is battling that every day. So that's why, we've been in contact with ODNR because we want to make sure, obviously, the raccoon gets the help, but that she can get the proper paperwork that she may not be able to afford or obtain because of her current situation.
What else there is to say? Anything else that you think is worth sharing?
Justice for Chewy.
Here's what you told after you were married or your family members and you told them about your day. You kind of talked about it's one of the most unusual days you've had on the force or working, but I'm just curious how you describe it.
When I texted other officers in the department, no one could really believe me because of how unbelievable the story seemed at the time. And then the next day, I'm going into my day off, and all of a sudden it's on Facebook, and everyone is seeing kind of the wild side of what we do as officers.
Who have you been contacted, or do you know roughly? You said obviously we're here to set up like a press conference.
I have not had contact with media outside this room, but it's nice to see my friends and family that aren't in this job to be like, hey, what do you have to deal with? This is one of the crazier sides, but this is, something that we get to, some of the fun that we get to do, and, I'm happy and thankful that it can be here in Springfield Township.
Is this something you go over to the academy? Can't prepare for something.
I'm not going to speak to Officer Clapp's academy, but I was not trained in what to do in that moment in the academy.
No, we never came across any of that. Like I said, we just seen it's been going viral. TikTok, it was over 5 million views. TMZ, People's, Times. Him and I seen an article. It was in Australia. So it's just kind of taken off. Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay. So that's Chewy. I'll play the video one more time. Chewy the raccoon. Chewy.
Hi, how are we doing today? I'm Officer
Good.
Brandon, Springfield Township Police Department.
Okay, stop it, Josh. How are you?
So the reason I stopped you is you are
Show here, Jumpy. What did he put? He like.
So the reason I stopped you is you are.
I didn't even notice that before. She like jumped back. Was she on something? Did she inhale some of that shit? That shit is supposed to look 3D and shit coming at her.
How are you?
So the reason I stopped you is you are suspended with a warrant for your arrest.
I am?
So do me a favor, turn off the car, put the keys up on the dash, detain you for that warrant, and because you are suspended actively. Oh. Hey.
What?
Come here.
Hello?
The raccoon has her meth pipe.
As what?
Oh my God.
Her meth pipe. He's playing with the meth pipe right now. No, don't reach for it. That's evidence now.
Oh, I don't want him to have that.
That's why I'm gonna do it. Hey, buddy.
Huh?
It's okay.
Okay, you're on Island 2. Be here in 2 minutes. I'm right across from my house.
Is that what that
A few
is?
minutes?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is what she's smoking meth in.
Okay.
The raccoon's playing with her meth pipe.
All right.
Well, she's got $100,000 now in donations from a GoFundMe she started. Someone speculated she might use that for drugs. No, I'm just kidding. That'd be wild, though, right? That'd be crazy.
Oh, there's no way.
All right, so I got another story, man. I got another story. We're firing off. This one's like a messed up story. It's a cold case from I thought it was all the way from 2021, but they just released some new video, I think, and they released 911 audio, and it's about these parents that got killed in front of their kids, and they still don't have the person. So we're gonna do that one, and then later when I come back from picking up Maddie a little later, probably like I don't know, in a little while. There's this other story that I find intriguing. I don't even want to say what it is yet. It's gonna surprise you guys later. I need to kind of set up the story and figure out the title and thumbnail, but it's an interesting one. It's a controversial one, somewhat controversial. People are kind of leaning left and right. I purposely have not watched the videos. I read a little bit of the story. I'm gonna frame it, thumbnail title. I don't want to watch it until I get to watch it with you guys together. There's a couple things to watch. So first, let's do this one here. This story is out of Atlanta. Poor family. It's really, really strange. I'm gonna say, I guess let's do 12:15, 5 minutes. I probably don't even need 5 minutes, but just to be safe, do 12:15. Set up that stream. Okay. Redirect. I'll drop the link in the chat. Make sure you guys sign up to the mailing list. Check out the mailing list. Help me out. I'm trying to get to 1,000. We're at 800 and something. And all it is automated emails, because I'm blasting out so many stories. I don't have any notifications. So if you like to keep up to date, the email blast goes out. It just said, that's all it is. A link, the title, this is what's happening. Boom. You know. And in case, God forbid, something happens with YouTube or I need to get an emergency message out, I can communicate with people like via email. Boom, this is what happened or whatever, you know. All right, so I'm going to transfer you guys. Here we go. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Bloop, bloop. Thanks, Capstar. Appreciate that, man. Oh, let me drop the link in the chat, too, in case the transfer doesn't work. Let me do that.